Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pillars of Eternity. So, you may have noticed that I increased the volume of my mic. It seemed I was a little quieter in some of the louder music portions. When I did the testing, it was against more ambient music like this, where it came out a bit clear. Let me know if you prefer it. I went with the lower setting because, as I use a headset, it oftentimes picked up some other noises that I was trying to cut. So, let me know which way you prefer. On the previous episode, we made our way out of the Ingwithan ruins and stumbled onto some kind of cult thing going on. When we awoke afterwards, our companions were dead, and we've been seeing some weird stuff. On our way out to Gilded Vale, let's see if we can try and figure out what's going on with us. The Gilded Vale. We're sneaking in. We're not suspicious at all. No. Doo-doo-doo. Hello, new people. How are you guys today? That's friendly. This place looks great. I think I want to go back to the ruins. Excuse me.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
A man approaches you. His skin is dull and gray as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. His voice is a dry croak. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of the tree next to him. I kind of like this answer. Are you mad? No wonder this place looks half empty. But I feel like such an ass, but I'm gonna choose this one. I feel at home already.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
He appraises you over half-moon spectacles and scratches his chin. What are you talking about? So, Hollowborn children are basically children who are dead upon birth. It's like they have no soul, and we'll hear more about it later. Honest, diplomatic. Just go with no.
Are you absolutely certain? Lord Raderick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village.
I know of no children.
I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly toward the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with the Biovac. Is there someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
Yeah, you're not seeing ghost people, but I don't really want to tell you that because I have a feeling that the game will be over very quickly as I hang from a tree. You said something about Hollowborn and Wadewin's legacy before. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the dear world for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows, but they began spreading after the saints So the name Wadewen's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. Lord Raedric's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. He nods. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. Cult! He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing on within ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Bareth have mercy. We certainly have. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a bivouac. If you'd been that close to a bivouac, you wouldn't be standing here. Peace!
Keep out of...
Ooh. Yay, the bell.
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Urgiat looks out toward the east, his expression unreadable. He blinks slowly and turns his attention back to you.
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
A peculiar spasm crosses his face, and the corner of his mouth quirks up into a mirthless smile. Don't threaten me, little man. No. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Bareth must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest, the inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Peace! Visions and whispers. Interesting. Hello? Sellsword and Archer. Oh, quest completed. Got some EXP. Oh, if you need an introduction, can I speak with him? Oh, there is more stuff. Cool. Tell me about Lord Raedric. Raderick. He comes from a line of nobles who have defended these lands since Adair times. Raedric II was an early supporter of Deerwood and independence during the Revolution, and the current lord's father perished in the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in the Deerwood shortly after the war's end. Lord Raedric has taken it upon himself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have been severe, but necessary. Unfortunately, it may not have been enough, if the bells were any indication. The Saints' War? Our age's most egregious example of man's madness. 15 years ago, the people of Raid Saris decided that Waidwen, their living saint, was the literal incarnation of the god Eothas. Urdiat wrinkles his pinched nose. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Deerwood, supposedly from allegiances to less worthy gods, but I've never known an army to conquer a land for its people's own good. The war lasted about a year, but you can guess what that year did to the worship of Eothas in the Deerwood. Lord Raedric's forebears had all been Eothasians, but after his father fell defending us from those fanatics, he personally saw that the temple of Eothas here in town was shut down. He points at a few ruined walls near the tree. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understands our rules. I'd like to know more about Gilded Vale. We're a frontier village, as are most settlements in the Deerwood. Gilded Vale hasn't grown much since its establishment in the colonial days, and the last 15 years have seen our population shrink further. He takes in the ramshackle houses and the half-fallen fences. Hence our recruitment of fresh settlers. Why has Gilded Vale's population been shrinking? I wonder why. Crazy people. Waidwen's legacy, of course. Many women have had difficulty bearing healthy children of late. A few years ago, Lord Raedric decreed that no mothers of Hollowborn are to be allowed in Gilded Vale. His lordship dealt swiftly with the objectors. His mouth tightens into a firm line. It may be harsh, but if it purges us of this curse, is it not worth it? Seems to be doing wonderful. Tell me more about those ruins behind the tree. That's what's left of the Temple of Eothas. His lips pucker. Lord Raedric forbade worship of the dead god after the Saints' War. It's been abandoned for almost 15 years, but there are plans to rededicate it to Bareth, the god of life and death. Enough about that. And you'll get to know the town well enough as you explore, I'm sure. No, thank you. Villagers over here. We can look at that. What if it's not the baby? Maybe Kolsk managed to... Hush, are you mad? Leave it for the indoors. Interesting. Let's take a peek. Beneath the vines are crude carvings of a sun rising over 3 stars. So these people here, I'm not actually going to read this one. I don't want to do that yet, actually. Those are characters from the backers. This is going to be Barrett's house now. But don't really want to do that until... Oh, this is one. I told her. Oh, there we go. Alof. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
The others, 2 folk men and an elven woman, don't look convinced. The woman crosses her arms and spits at his feet. What's going on? Ooh, a fight! No, what's going on? One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. Mocking us even when while he shelters in our village. Just goes to show you that these fancy Adira manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment, not from foreigners, and especially not from Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
The second man thrusts his chin at the elf. He stinks of sour ale.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cock's feather!
And that's Alof.
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
A collective cry of outrage rises from the 3 locals. The second man snarls.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
Horror and shock paint themselves across the elven man's face in broad, hasty strokes. He frowns and swallows. He plants his feet. Something surly and raw flickers through his eye.
That's where you're wrong.
The elven woman draws a blade. I don't think it... this isn't necessary. Wouldn't you rather be inside drinking than out here arguing? We don't want your charity either, foreigner. It sounds suspiciously like you're defending him. Oh, hello. They attacked me. Oh, and we took him out very easily. As the last of the attackers fall, the elf turns to you, and the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
I'm glad I could help.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. Though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
Tell me about yourself.
Lima Wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. And half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
A bivouac or several hooded figures operating a change machine. Let's go with this one. Eva goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh.
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
Just how did you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
He tenses his fingers and looks away. You did tell that one man to go fuck his sister. Oh, dang it. I'd rather do, You did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. That. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lip so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes, and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
He cocks his head looking at you. And you. Like you said, I'm also a settler. I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. And he has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
He nods at the gnarled old tree in the center of town. His darting glance takes in the tumbled-down buildings and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
Base!
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
He gives you a guardedly hopeful look. I prefer to travel light, maybe later. No. So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
I have recruited Aloth.
Well?
Let's... Ooh, got some money. Let's check out Aloth. He is, as he says, a wizard. He has high lore, which is good. 1 in mechanics, which is useful. Good intelligence, which is, of course, very nice for duration and area of effect. And otherwise, decent dex. He actually acts quite fast. He has his own leather armor. So if we go to inventory. So yellow special leather armor. Overseen. That is the plus 10% ability area of effect. So AoE is awesome. Other than that, he has a cape, which does nothing, a hat, which does nothing, and a grimoire. So for what? Okay, so grimoires are basically your spell books. You can store so many spells within them. You can know other spells as well. You can use spells that you don't know. What's weird to me is that he doesn't know a spell that's within his own grimoire. You can also, if you kill an enemy mage or wizard, you can take their grimoire and write down all their spells. So, we learned Kalikoff's Sunless Grasp. He knows Archimir's Dazzling Lights, so leave them dazed, which I think helps with your hitting them, so they attack less and they would have less deflection. Fan of Flames, basically if things get too close, this is good. Kalikoff's Sunless Grasp, so you can freeze them and does a bit of damage. This is basically Magic Missile, and then this is Mirror Image, I guess, from D&D 5e. Yeah, actually, I don't like this. I've never actually used it, so I may just be wrong on that. But to me, you dodge one hit. It doesn't necessarily do anything good. Like, you could even be grazed, but I mean, like, let's say a rat attacks you for 5 damage at further levels, and it's just like, it just does 1. After that, it disappears. So, I don't know, I've never been a big fan of that one, but this is Aloth. You've learned a new wizard spell. You must add a new wizard spell to a grimoire before they're available for you to use. If we click on him, oh, and you can level him up. So, here are his first level wizard spells. So we can also level him. It's good for... I'm going to give him 1 in survival for damage reduction. Actually, give him 1 in that for the endurance. I should give him lore, but as I said, I don't usually use scrolls all that much. I do, as wizards, you do get to learn some new spells. So we have Chill Fog. Blinded is good versus Fortitude. Ghost Blades. Average length 7 meters. Pierce damage and hobbled in the area of effect. Spirit Shield. So 3 DR and 30 concentration I like. I think that would, depending on the hit, be better. Slicken, otherwise known as Grease. Jolting Touch. I don't really want... Ooh, 2-meter jump. Ooh, that's kind of cool. But I think it's a really short range. So I don't really want him that close. Caster plus 15 accuracy. Parasitic Staff. Summon weapon, Consult's Parasitic Quarterstaff. Strong. But again, I mean, those things on there are pretty awesome. I mean, Exceptional is great. And it drains. Value 1200. It's really good, but again, that means he's in melee, so I don't really want that. What's the range? Let's do this one. Ooh, good against spellcasters. Nice. He also gets a talent. So the special wizards ones are Arcane Veil, which is offensive, Grimoire Slam, which can push people back, or Blast, which means that you do a small area AoE, and you also damage, have some DR bypass. So I'll grab that one. Especially early, it will help, and if it's no longer necessarily necessary later, we can always remove it.
Yes?
So wizard weapons are another kind of a ranged attack. So you can use them as you would kind of like a bow.
Indeed.
Oops. That's
Well,
formation. Oh. Right, my silly setup. Let's something more like
as
this.
you wish.
It's still not registering. Why aren't you registering? Ah, that would be why. Now they will be in the way that I want them. So have some more villagers. The sale tastes funny to you. Unfortunate. Yes, yes. Nobles put up boys to float, same as us. Let's head into the end. See if we can't rustle us up some side quests. The
I'll see what I can find.
mainstay of all good RPG games like this. You gotta have quests. Okay. Let's see here. Villager, Pasca. So, nope, this one we can steal from. No one cares. We get grain and milk. Take it. This, nope, also. There's a different symbol if it's actually considered stealing. There we go. See what has a mask? That means you're stealing and people will be upset if they catch you. Ooh, we got Fan Flames, some money, and Development of a Crucible Knight. If people are interested in me reading a lot of these books, let me know. I can put some of those into like a bonus episode. Otherwise, there are a lot of them. Strom Brightblade? Didn't you just like straight up rip that off of Dragonlance? Let's talk to Pasca.
How do you do?
Oh, greetings and welcome to the Black Hound Inn. The innkeeper bows her head curtly. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of a good meal today, she sighs, unless you're fond of cold porridge. I'd like a room. I could use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? Could I see what you have for sale? I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for a few years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces in here, too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. I used to work the tables, actually, until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound. It's still sitting upstairs pining after him. Poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow, she laughs. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. You always serve porridge? Aelaf looks at you and shakes his head quickly. It isn't by his choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in the Deerwood. We've had a damnable rout of luck is all. It's been a bad season for the crops, and we're running low on supplies. I sent Tinfrith up north to stock up. Tinfrith's our cook, you see. An artist with a good roast. But it's been days since he was supposed to return. We haven't seen any sign of him. She sighs again. I've only just taken over from the last owner myself. I don't know what I'll do if he doesn't turn up. I could try and find him for you. Really? Her face brightens. I'd be grateful to you if you did. He was traveling through the Valewood. It's probably nothing. Broken wheel, maybe. But I do worry. You see him safely home, and I think everyone in here would sing your praises. Nobody much likes my porridge. So, let's see what they have for sale. Aleph opens his mouth, but seems to reconsider. Nothing for me, thanks. Of course, we're running a little short on goods these days, but we ought to have some more soon. So we can get beer, milk, grain, and camping supplies. Don't really need any of those. Oops. Oh, late for dinner. That's a new quest. Since he's out, this is actually a pretty good time to, so they only get pissed if they see you, but you can rob them blind if no one notices. So I do, when I can get away with it. And we're actually going to go ahead and pick up a merc.
Welcome.
Use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Let's see what we have to work with. So you can hire adventurers. I do have the money. I'm going to pick up one. We can pick up one more character in here that I'm going to go and find. But I want to have one more member in the party. You do get more EXP if you go around with a lower number, but I'd rather just go ahead and pick up a bit of extra help. So I'll bring in another male. I didn't plan this one quite as much in advance, so I'll go ahead with an elf. Yes, you're going to be an archer, going to be a ranger. So they have a couple of options. Wounding shot. So it hobbles them and does DOT, or they have, as I said, they have animal companions. A bonus against that target. So we're going to use this one. Go for Mark Prey. We'll grab a wolf. Summon wolf companion. I believe the current one, this is going to be Jay Stank. He's helped me out a lot, especially in the beginning. So this will be Jay Stank, and I believe the animal he's currently at the time of this recording, he's doing some RimWorld where he has wolves as portions of the team, so he gets a wolf companion. Let us interrupt accuracy and reflex. Oh, okay, we'll get you some dexterity. Good amount of might, good amount of perception. I'm going to min-max this a bit more because he'll be temporary until we fill out the party with the other characters. As you may have noticed with Aleph, every character has, similar to like a Mass Effect, they have their own personal quest, and so I really like to use them because it adds a lot more flavor than what you could get. You can definitely get a lot more specific here. Ooh, actually, once intellect. Sure, we'll give you some intellect. You can get a lot more optimized people using mercs, but then you kind of missed out on all the story. Let's go ahead. You will be from... You were a pirate. Unfortunately, this is a lot less important here. I want mechanics. Anything? Got 2 mechanics. A lot of times, that one's probably looking the best. Ooh, slave. A lot of times, the only person who's actually checked for a particular ability is the main character. Wow. Color palettes. I didn't really try all that hard on that one, unfortunately. Mate, your secondary color will be red. Your primary color will be... That is... I was wearing dark red. That'll do. Secondary color. Christmas. No. We'll go with black. Light, and you are very blonde. There we go. You cannot have facial hair. You are an elf, I guess. That almost looks... Those are huge eyebrows. Go with that one. I don't want to give him crazy hair. AJ Steak has a mohawk, because why not?
I'll lead the way.
I'll teach you a lesson!
Yes. I'm flattered. Let's go. Keeping quiet. Yeah. Follow me.
Let's go! Ready when you are.
Leading the way. Steady does it. Yeah.
That's probably closest. I have interesting. It's a J. It almost looks like an I. There we go. But with that, I'll go ahead and call it an episode. And the next one, we will continue to look for party members. We will pick up the last party member from this area. He's a warbow. Excellent. And then continue picking up some extra quests. And then hopefully go out and take care of a few of those. So I hope you'll join me in the next episode.